Hello, my name is Matt Stohrer and I repair saxophones for a living. And this is my third try at making this video, so let's hope it works this time. First time my battery ran out, second time my memory card ran out. So, let's do it. Today I would like to show you I'd like to compare and contrast the vintage purple logo Yamaha 62R one-piece bent neck soprano saxophone with the brand new Yamaha Custom Z 82ZR one-piece bent neck soprano saxophone. Now we have a rather unusual circumstance here where I happen to have in the shop a 62R that has its original pads and adjustment materials and is set up just like it came from Yamaha, and it still plays on its original pads. So we can actually do a very direct comparison here. This horn has not been changed in any way, it has not been overhauled by anyone. And it has the original Yamaha pads with the brown plastic resonators set at Yamaha heights, just like it left the factory, same as this saxophone. So we're able to do a pretty direct comparison. So, the 62R one-piece bent neck soprano, I actually did a video about these, which you can check out if you would like to learn more. But, short rundown, it's a very nice vintage soprano that is quite desirable, and the prices have been going up, and Yamaha saw this and realized that there was a hole in the market they could fill, and basically reissued the 62R. And they did a really good job. So, the differences. The saxophones are very, very similar, so I can actually point out the major differences quite easily. There's some very slight ergonomic changes. Pearls are in slightly different locations, just very, very, very slight. Some of the key work is designed slightly different. Major differences are, okay, in the new one you've got a tilting B-flat spatula, which most modern saxophones have. On the 62R you have a straight B-flat spatula. I actually prefer this, it feels better to me under the fingers than tilting B-flat spatulas, but that's a matter of taste. Most people, I think, prefer these. The palm keys on the 82ZR are slightly higher, a little bit closer to the hand. So if you've got medium to large hands, I guess mine are probably medium, it rests very comfortably against the hand and you can do palm keys without having to move your hand too much. On these, the 62Rs, the E-flat in particular is pretty far away and you have to do a pretty major move of your hand to get to the E-flat. So I would say that the 82ZR, if you've got larger hands, is going to be more comfortable for you, especially with the palm keys. The design of the instrument is very, very close. On this 62R, there's kind of an unusual thing going on with the upper stack where you've got one long hinge tube here and then another hinge tube here, and they're separated by a gap of about 1 inch, except the biss is connected to both. So it's kind of an unusual thing. Yamaha also did this on their 52 tenors and possibly the altos. It was kind of unusual in a soprano, and they changed that on the 82ZR. They went to a much more normal one hinge tube for half the upper stack, and then the biss is on its own pivot rod, as is the G. G is also on a pivot rod here. The side keys are a little bit more substantial on the 82ZR, and they're also moved down the body just a tiny bit. If you look at the low point on the B-flat relative to the pearl here, and you look at the low point in the B-flat relative to the pearl here, you can see it's maybe 2 millimeters lower and the whole piece is, which is a bit more comfortable, I think. Also, they've changed the shape of the alternate F-sharp and the high F-sharp. Much more comfortable, if you ask me. Having a curved surface here to use your alternate F-sharp, just it really feels like it's a very small area. But when you've got a flat surface like this, you can hit it anywhere and you really feel like you've got purchase. It's very comfortable. Same thing goes for the high F-sharp, although to a lesser degree because this is such a huge key. You also notice the low C sharp is on the top of the body tube on this 62R. Some of them had it on the back side of the body tube, and that is the design that Yamaha has taken and put on the 82ZR, which I'm not quite sure why they do that. I believe that they move this to the top because when you've got condensation or spit running down, it's less likely to help your C sharp get stuck when the pad is on the top of the body tube. So I'm not sure why they did that, but Like I said, some 62Rs had the C sharp in the back of the body tube, and that appears to be the design that they took for the 82ZR. Also, you've got adjustment screws for your lower stack on the 62R, none on the lower stack for the 82ZR, although they both have adjustment screws on the upper stack. The design on the 82ZR is slightly nicer, I think, a little bit more substantial. Especially the arm right here for the A. This arm is quite a bit thicker here, and just it feels a little less bendy, which is nice, obviously. Also, they have the two pads for the C sharp, aka bar key, which is exactly the same as it was on the 62R. Not the same as on Yamaha's other Sopranos. So they really were kind of going back with this design. And now I can tell you about what is the same, which is almost everything else. I A/B these back and forth, and like I said, this is the original Yamaha setup. Same type of pads. The key heights are set the same. The tone holes seem to be in almost exactly the same location, with the exception of the C sharp. And they play like, basically the same saxophone. I went back and forth for quite a while trying to kind of, get a sense of the differences in the sound. But I found that they even had the same quirks. Like, for instance, the way these key heights are set up for me, the owner did. I did a full setup on this one, meaning I took it apart, cleaned it, put it back together, fixed all the leaks, and just kind of changed a few things here and there to make it feel better under the fingers. But the key heights are Yamaha original because the owner asked me to keep it that way. But for me, the way the original key heights play is that the high E is ridiculously sharp and the E flat is really flat. And they both were the exact same, and they both had the same timbre and tone quality in that area as well. Also, middle G for me is a little stuffy and a little bit flat, and that was exactly the same on both of them in the same way. And by opening up my throat and tightening my embouchure a bit on both of them exactly the same way, I could bring the pitch up and open up the sound a little bit. Also, low B flat was a little sharp on both for me, and I had to kind of open up and loosen up in order to get it to play in tune. But the point is that they play almost exactly the same. I mean, if you put me in a room and handed these two saxophones to me, I would think I was playing the same model. So I think Yamaha has either used the exact same body tube or come very, very, very close. And if their goal was to make an updated, slightly updated version of the 62R, then they've done an excellent job, because to me, the differences are minimal. And I think most of the time, if you're playing a 62R versus one of these, and you find, versus the 82ZR, and you find that there's differences, it's probably because the 62R has been overhauled in the meantime, and it's been through, it's had a life, and it's probably been changed. But when I'm playing these two saxophones side by side with Yamaha's original setup on them, I mean, it's the same thing. So if you're thinking of buying one, if you're thinking of getting a one-piece bent neck curved soprano, you can go either way. You can probably find one of these and get it overhauled well for slightly less, maybe, than it would cost you to get one of these new. But then you've got the challenge of finding one that's in good shape. There's not a ton of them out there. There's not a ton that are for sale because people like them. And then getting it overhauled well, and unfortunately not every repairman out there is the best repairman out there. So that can be kind of a challenge to go through that process. Or you can just go to the store and buy one of these brand new. It's a little bit more expensive, but it's new. You've got the warranty, all that sort of stuff. I did find, as is typical with new Yamahas, for me anyways, I found that some of the pads were sticky. There were a few leaks. Some of the adjustment materials benefit greatly from being changed out to something slicker in some places, to adding Teflon in some places, to changing to firmer things in other places. And this instrument was no exception. So while the key heights and the pads, with the exception of the C sharp, which I had to change, are the same. I did change a few adjustment materials in here to make it feel better under the fingers, and you can hear that it's not sticky anymore. So, vintage Yamaha 62R, purple logo, brand new Yamaha 82ZR. Extremely similar, and both very good saxophones. I mean, they're Yamahas. You know, they're very, very, very consistent, and they're very well built. They've got some quirks. Like I said, I kind of have to set mine up for intonation to be spot on. But I mean, it's a soprano. You're going to have intonation issues somewhere probably. And the pads that come out of the factory are a little bit sticky and a little bit leaky, and some of the adjustment materials benefit from being changed. But 82ZR, basically the same as the 62R. They've really done their job well. They've really made a really great one-piece bent neck soprano. So if you're looking for one, definitely see if you can give one a try. If you like the 62R, I think you'll like the 82ZR. So, hope this was helpful, informative, useful, interesting. My name is Matt Stohrer. I repair saxophones for a living. You can ask me questions here on YouTube, or you can check out my website, which is linked in the description. And you can find on there my email address, my phone number. If you would like to call me up and talk saxophone, feel free. I love hearing from people, and I love hearing your opinions and answering questions and learning new stuff. So, hope this was super awesome. Thanks for watching.